Hi friends, I'm Anouk, Nook for short, and welcome to another Nook's Hooks vlog. If you watched my last market video, which was the day of the Dragon Wing, you know that my bestseller was my small stegos. Now usually I don't even bring those to markets because they're not my favorite to make, but I think I brought 4 or 5 and they all sold. So that says enough. I have to make more stegos for my upcoming con. I haven't done any kind of market prep in quite a while for that con. It's only in November, but these cons are pretty big and I do have to have a lot of stock for it. And I also have a bunch of other things to do, like my 9 to 5. I have to design patterns. I have to have some time for myself. So I definitely need to start market prepping months beforehand. So, I'm not the biggest fan of making stegos just because I don't really enjoy making smaller plushies. I usually make all of these sizes, which are all my patterns. So, that being said, I thought, why don't I just whip out a bunch of stegos in one day? And so I thought I'll make a challenge out of it. So today we're gonna see how many stegos I can make in one day and how much extra stock price wise I will have when I've done so. Now, there's a couple things working against us a bit today. Number one, it might already be 10 a.m. I got up and accidentally watched the new Love Island UK episode and I did some cleaning around the house. So we're having a late start to the day. Number two, we're experiencing another heat wave here in Europe. So the heat is not going to help for crocheting with chenille yarn all day. But the reason I still wanted to do it today is because today is the least warm day of the heat wave. I'm still going to attempt to do it today. And number three, I'm having a bit of shoulder pain, so that's not going to help too. Oh, number four, I've got a splinter right there, which is really hurting and it's like under my skin, so I can't get it out. And my finger's a bit swollen and I do use that finger a lot for crocheting. The cards are stacked against us right now, but I do think we can still pop out a bunch of stegos. Now I'm thinking rainbow, but I'm not going to keep it to my usual 6 rainbow. I kind of want to do like a teal stego in between there, maybe a pink and a red stego. So we're gonna have a lot to do today. I think without further ado, I'm just gonna hop right into it. I think I might check in every 2-ish stegos to show you how much I've made and how long I've been busy on them. I think the first one I'm definitely gonna time to see how long it takes me. I'm guessing it's about half an hour, but we'll see. Incredible news, the stego only takes me 23 minutes and 42 seconds. And I did make a couple small mistakes with that I had to frog, so maybe they'll end up going faster, but I must say timing myself does give me an extra motivation to crochet quite fast. But that's really good news. I sell stegos for 10 euros, so I've already made 10 euros in stock. Now, if you're curious about this pattern, it's actually a free no-sew pattern of mine. You can find it on my Instagram. I also have a PDF version on my Etsy for like, I think I sell it for 1.5 euros or something. Do keep in mind, I changed it slightly compared to the first version that is posted of the Stegosaurus, which is the spikes. So in the pattern, you do the spikes separately, but that means weaving in 2 ends per spike. So that's 8 ends in total, and I'm not about to do that anymore. So I just do the exact same pattern, but in between each one, I do an extra single crochet onto the body, just so that they're all connected, and I think it looks perfectly cute, and I'm really happy with it. So yeah, this is how it turned out, and I'm really pleased with it. I'm very happy with how fast I'm able to make them. I also decided to embroider the eyes instead of put safety eyes in, just because I feel like with my Stegosauruses, Because these rounds are so small, the first ones, I think they're 8 single crochet. I feel like the eyes, the safety eyes are not as secure as they should be. So I just embroider the eyes here. As you can see, I'm not great at embroidering eyes, but it's whatever. I'm happy that one only took me under 24 minutes. That's 6 minutes faster than I thought it was going to be, which is even 20% faster than I thought it was going to be, which means I can make 5 plushies in the time that I thought I was going to be able to make 4 plushies, if my math is correct. So that's really great news, and I think now I am going to pick out my next 2 colors for Stegos, and I'm gonna head outside and crochet a bit in the nice weather, because it really is a lovely day today and it's not too hot outside. Yeah, I'll see you when I finish maybe another 2 Stegos, and then I'll check in again and let you know what time it is. It is now 10:45, which I did think I only started at 10:15 with moving camera and setting up some stuff. Took some extra time. So it's now 10:45, and I will check in when I have another 2 Stegos done, and we'll see what time it is then. Okay, it's now 12:04. I am joined here by Nori and Bella. And I finished 2 more Stegos. So I finished a green one and a teal one. So that brings the count for now to 3 Stegos, and if I started at 10:15, that's 3 Stegos in an hour 45, which is quite good. I do take some breaks in between. I think now I'm going to crochet in the sofa a little bit, because on days where I crochet a bunch, like a challenge day like today, I think it's best to switch around where I crochet as much as possible. So no more than 2 or 3 Stegos while sitting in the same spot, because that's not great for your back and your overall posture to just keep sitting in the same way all day. So I want to switch it up every once in a while. I've also got my electrolytes, which is important when it's so hot outside. And it's extra important for me because low blood pressure things. So I did go ahead and grab the next colors that I want to make. The first one is going to be a blue one. So light blue and dark blue. And then I did decide to go for 2 purple ones. The first one will be more of a cold toned purple. And then the second one will be a warm toned purple, while it's almost leaning a little more to pink, which is quite nice. I really love this color. It's like a purple rosy color. I don't think I've used it much before. I might have used it for a hoodie or something, just because I wanted to use this purple, but I don't think I've used it for anything else. So I'm excited about that one. But I'm going to keep going in order. So next up is blue, and then the cold purple, because that leans the most to blue, and then the pinky warm toned purple. I'm now gonna sit back in the sofa, cuddle the dogs, and crochet, and I'm also gonna have some lunch in between. So this chunk of making Stegos might take a little longer than before, because yes, lunch also has to happen. It is now 1:35. I have finished the blue and the cool toned purple Stego, and I have gotten this far on the warmer toned purple stego, but we've run into a little bit of an issue, which is my hand. It's starting to hurt a bit. I was pushing through, but then I decided I should not be pushing through because that's only gonna make it worse, and I would like to continue crocheting the rest of the day. So I think it's time for a little extended break. But honestly, I'm quite happy. I already made 5.5 stegos, which is quite good for only having been doing it for a little over 3 hours. So I think my goal of today was 10, but we're gonna have to see how my hand goes. If we were looking at it purely time-wise, 10 is definitely doable, but we gotta make sure my hand feels okay. That being said, I'm gonna make an iced latte now and just relax a bit and not use my hand too much so that I am ready to finish off the next stegos. After my much needed break, I was able to finish the last stego without any more pains in my hand, so that's very good news. This brings our total to 6 stegos made today. So I'm really pleased with this progress. I did actually have one more stego, which I call the red stego, that I made during the last market that I did. So I made it while vending there. So this one would be the next in line, which is the red one. I'm not gonna count this one as one I made today, but that means I don't have to make a red one. I did, however, pick out the other colors that I will be doing. So the two colors still missing from the lineup are the pink stego and the orange stego, and then I've gone through the whole rainbow, but I still would like to make 2 more and finish off at 10 stegos today. So I did go ahead and pick 2 more colors, and my approach here was thinking that green and blue stegos are usually the most popular, I think. So I did go with other variations than I've already made just because it's more fun to me to make different variations. And if I'm gonna make 10 in a day, I think it's better to make them all different variations just so it doesn't get too boring for me. So first off, I went for this color combination, which is like a really bright green and a more cold toned dark green. And then next up, I went for a bright turquoise color combination. Now here, especially on camera, I think they look pretty similar, but I do think they'll be different enough to look cute. The other colors I have, the dark blues are not bright enough to fit with this dark blue. So I think this will have to do. Yeah, I think this will have to do. I'm not 100% sure about this combination yet. I might think about it a bit more to see if anything else is calling my name. But that being said, the next one in line, I'm going in rainbow order, is pink. It is now 5 to 4 and I have finished 3 more stegos. Honestly, this is going much better than I had expected. Excuse me if you can hear and see the fan going. It's blasting at me right there to make this temperature a bit bearable. But honestly, it's been fine to crochet in this temperature. But yeah, I finished these 3, which brings the total to 9 right now, keeping them all in this little basket. I do feel fine to continue, but I'm still not sure on the color that I will use. And I do think it's a good idea to give my hands a bit more of a break, even though I'm not feeling any pain right now, just to be more on the safe side. So I think I'm going to take another little break here to do some household stuff. I have some washing up I need to hang up to dry. I think I'm also going to reply to some comments over on YouTube and Instagram and all that stuff. And after that, I will check back in to crochet a little more. Okay, I've done some productive things. It is 4:30 right now to be exact. And I think I have decided that I'm not going to go with this color combination. It's just feeling a bit off to me. But what I am going to do is step away from the really light colored base of the dinosaur. So now I want to go for this combination, which is a darker blue combination, and then I'll see if I want to do any more. But I think that's best because I've kind of depleted all of my really light colors. And if I want to keep making different ones, I think it's time to dabble into the darker colors now. It's 4:54 and I finished my 10th Stegosaurus of the day. Next up, I am just gonna keep going because I still feel fine. In 1 hour, I need to be at a workout class. So I'm quickly gonna get through one more and then we'll see if I want to continue after the workout class or not. I think maybe my arms will be a bit too exhausted and my body will be too exhausted, and also from the heat of walking there and walking back, I don't know if I will actually feel like crocheting anymore. But we're going with these colors, which is slightly brighter than the other orange one I made. This last one actually only took me 20 minutes. It's now 5:15, and I think this one will be the last one of this video. I'm super happy. I'm gonna do a little recount to make sure I'm actually at 11 before I say anything else. Yes, indeed, we have 11 stegos in here in my baskets, and I also have that one stego that I made beforehand. So I'm really pleased with how this turned out. I honestly expected 10 stegos in a day to be a stretch and that I'd have a lot of trouble with my hands and my back and stuff, but honestly, I have barely had any issues except for that one time I had to take a little break. For the rest, my back is starting to be a bit iffy, my arms are starting to feel a bit annoying, so I am gonna leave it there. I'm super happy with 11 stegos. I don't think I need more than a total of 12 stegos for my next market. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. Another reason I'm stopping is indeed I just don't need any more stegos for the convention. So I think what's left to do now is to line up all the stegos. Will you just look at all of these stegos? This is so incredibly cute. Alright then, I think that's where I'm going to call the video. I think we can call this challenge a great success. I smashed my expectations, and I'm really pleased that I got all of these stegos out of the way. And I came to the conclusion that I actually don't dislike making stegos. I had a really good time doing this today, and it really brought back my crochet mojo. Like, I've enjoyed it so much. Not one moment did I think like, oh, I really want to stop making stegos. No, it was all great. Now, let me know if you guys thought I was going to make 11 stegos in a single day. I surely did not. And I'm really curious to know if any of you guys have had like these really productive days where you just pump out a bunch of plushies, and how much your maximum in a day would kind of be. It doesn't necessarily have to be stegos, just a pattern in general, and how much you would be able to crank out in like your best day. In the end, I only crocheted over a period of 7 hours, which is quite good. I also did take the necessary breaks in between, so I'm really happy with how this turned out. One little disclaimer I do want to say is, if you try a challenge like this, listen to your body. If I would have had more pain throughout the day, I would have stopped. Don't push through. You don't want to have like permanent injuries or long-term injuries which will stop you from crocheting. That would be the worst thing ever. So 11 stegos in a day might seem a bit out there, and just keep in mind I have made hundreds of plushies throughout my life, so my muscles are quite used to this, and 100% I don't want you guys to push yourself. It's a fun challenge to do, but listen to your body always. So in the end, I did end up making 110 euros worth of stock, which is 10 euros per stego. That's the price I'd pick. And then one other thing I thought would be interesting is I actually calculated the number of stitches per stego and then times it by 11 stegos. And the grand total of number of stitches I've done today, which includes 44 bobble stitches. If you know, you know, bobble stitches take a long time. But the grand total of stitches I did today, not including frogging and having to redo stitches, is 3,751 stitches in a day. I can genuinely say that I don't think I have done that many stitches in a day before. I think. I could be wrong, but I think so. With that being said, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you did. Liking and subscribing definitely is the best way you can support me and my channel. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Bye!